Welcome to For the Love of Art with me, Angela Pearden. Today we will be painting this Cotton Candy Seascape in watercolor. So the colors that we're going to go with today is Diox Violet, Verde Blue, Permanent Rose, Lemon Yellow Hue, Yellow Ochre, Burnt Umber, Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green, Lamp Black, Chinese White, Ultramarine, and Bleedproof White. So for the sky we do more Verde Blue, just a titch of ultramarine, and less dioxazine violet from the Verde Blue. So if we do like 5 of the Verde Blue, we'll do 3 of the dioxazine violet and just a titch of the ultramarine. For the clouds, we have less Verde Blue, a titch of ultramarine, and more dioxazine violet. And that is, let's see, the sky colors right here. The cloud colors are right here. The other cloud colors that we have is Permanent Rose, which you put more of that into your color mix. Lemon Yellow and Dioxazine Violet. That's right there. The sand is equal parts Burnt Umber to Yellow Ochre, which is right here. The wet sand is Phthalo Blue, Lamp Black, just a titch of that. Phthalo Green, more phthalo green than phthalo blue, Burnt Umber and Yellow Ochre, equal parts to that. So when you make this mixture, just add this mixture to it. So these two mixtures right here make this mixture. So the watercolor is phthalo blue with phthalo green, and you're going to have more phthalo green than phthalo blue. The darkest part of the wave will be phthalo blue, phthalo green, equal parts, and then a titch of lamp black, not much at all. And then for these two, which will be the veins of the waves, we use the phthalo blue, phthalo green mixture and just add the Chinese white to it, and it'll make these colors. I do have Bleedproof white on my palette right here as well. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our masking fluid, and I use the Pebeo drawing gum, and I have it in the, you can purchase these empty bottles on Amazon. It's a Fineliner applicator. I just keep this little thing in here so it doesn't clog it up. There we go. And then what I'll do is I will take just a scrap piece of paper, and I'll go ahead and push some out on my paper, and then very lightly it'll do very fine lines. I'll set that to the side in case I need it again. And so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just above this line put in the masking fluid. And if you want a very thin line, don't squeeze the bottle. Well, I squeeze it a little bit, but that's all right. Now I'm going to go up over this wave. Trying to go with the outline of the drawing that I put on here. You can get our traceable in our Facebook group, For the Love of Art. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's see, masking fluid right here. All the way up to that. And then I'll go ahead and do the masking fluid here. Oh, I squeezed it a little too much, but that's okay. I want to put the majority of it on the outside of the line. There we go. go ahead down here, and on this side I'll go above the line because the shadow will be under this little wave. Okay, and then we will go ahead above the line, not under it on this one. I am not going to use a masking fluid on the clouds at all. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let this dry. I'm going to use my blow dryer on it. I don't have a problem with lifting off the masking fluid with blow drying it. So I'm going to go ahead and blow dry it. Okay, so now we're going to take our 1 inch Pristine Select Oval Mop Brush. I'll get it wet with water. There we go. Don't want too much, so I'm just going to dab it just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get our sky area nice and wet. And go ahead up to that line right there. Now if you get some of the paint into the splash of the wave, it's okay because we're going to be putting colors in there anyways. So there we go. There. Now I'm going to go in with my, let's see, number 4 pointed oval wash. Get it wet. I'm going to go in, I have water right here. I'm going to go into my sky color here. And that is the Verde Blue, Ultramarine Blue, and Violet. Less violet added. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and drop in. Okay, I'll drop in a little bit in here. Now I'm going to go in with the more pink cloud mixture and sunset or sunrise. Gonna put that in. A little bit more wet. There we go. So our paint flows good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my paper towel, put it to a point. I'm going to pull up that paint that we just put down, especially right up to the edge where it's more fluffy. Now I'll go ahead and I'll make a bigger ball with my paper towel. And I'll just go ahead and tap that out. There we go. I'm going to go with a little bit more water. And go ahead and spread that pink color all the way through. And we'll go in with some of that pink. See, I got it into the wave right there, but what I'll do is I'll just kind of tap it up, and that's okay if it stays a little bit because we're going to be putting this color within that splash anyways. Let me turn this so you can see what I'm doing better. Okay, so now I'm just going to get water on my brush and go along this edge so it doesn't make a sharp line there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead in with some of this purple color. I'll drop some of that in. Let's go a little darker. Go ahead and pull it through. Now just take some water. Go into that little area. And I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this blue again, and I'm going to go on top of here. Going to leave some white spaces in there. And go left to right, make it wispy. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead in with a small section of my paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and dab up along that edge. And then I'm going to come out a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to get a bigger section of my paper towel, and I'm going to just dab along the bottom here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead in with just water on my brush and soften up this line right here. There we go. Now I'm going to go in with my blue again. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'll pull a little bit of that from up here again, just to kind of darken it up just a little bit. Okay. Let's pull some of that this way. Go ahead and pull this down just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and dab up along the edge of that. If it don't pull up all the way, that's okay. We'll work on that later. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this pink color. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, put some of that in here. And I'll do a little bit of the purple right here at the bottom. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and dab that up. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and with my number 2 Master's Touch Pointed Oval Wash. Get it wet. I'm going to take a very watered down value of the, I believe it's lemon yellow. Yes, lemon yellow hue. That's just straight lemon yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and of just a few areas, put in a little bit of this yellow. Especially along right here. There we go. Now we'll do the same thing. Let's see. We'll put it right in here. Just trying to follow my reference photo. And then we have some in here. So we'll just go along this whole top of this one. Let's do a little bit darker here. There we go. There we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this for our next step. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to get my bleed-proof white. It looks like that. I'll get my palette brush or my palette knife, and I'll take a little bit out here. Just a little dab of it, and I'm going to set it right here on my palette. Now this step, if you do the traceable on the clouds, then this step is needed to cover up the outline of the clouds. But if you do not use the traceable of the clouds and you just pull out your own cloud shapes, then you won't need to do this step. But I like this. I like using bleed-proof white in my paintings. So this is very watered down right here. So what I'm going to do now is kind of go along where these lines are. Grab a little more. Remove this. Just kind of put those clouds in, and we could put more yellow if we need to. Okay, grab a little bit more. Go ahead and just dab in this bleed-proof white. Sorry, y'all hear my pups. Okay. Let's add a little bit more white to that, or water to that. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. If you got to do more than one coat, you can. Or you can go with thicker paint if you'd like. I'll go right into that. And do the same thing over here on this one. And there we go. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, while this dries, I'm going to put in just a little bit of clouds. Just a little bit more white. Let's make it a little thinner. Actually, I'll just grab my pipette. There we go. Much better. All right. Now I'll go in here where this line is. We want shadows, but we don't want straight lines. Kind of pull it out right there. And there we go. Now we'll do the same thing over here where this yellow is. Kind of add a little bit of fluffiness. Kind of pull that out. There we go. Get a little bit thicker paint. And go along that line one more time. Kind of get that nice and fluffy. Okay. Get a little bit thicker here. All right, let's see. We'll go in right here with a little bit thicker paint. That looks good. We'll do a little bit more right here. And we'll do a little bit more right here. There we go. And let's see. We'll put just a titch more right here. Okay, now I'll go ahead and blow dry this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead in with a very light wash of this pink color. Let me get my, let's see, I'm going to add just a little bit right in here. Let me make sure that's a light enough wash. Yeah, okay. Because we've got a little bit of clouds. Okay. And then I'll go ahead in with just a wet brush. Lift up a little bit of that. I'm not going to blend that edge. I'm going to let it go ahead and bleed out, make a line. Let's see. Okay. If I need to make that line a little less bright, I can later. And then let's see, we're going to go ahead and start with the water right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palette knife and get that wet. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and take a dry paper towel, and I'm going to go about right here, and I'll go ahead and pull up that little bit of masking fluid that I have all the way to about right there. And let it cut off about right there. Okay, now I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, so let's see. I'll put my palette knife about like that. Go ahead and cut that. And we'll go ahead and trim the top of that. And I'll take my paper towel. Make sure your canvas is dry when you, or your watercolor paper is dry when you do this. Oh, it took that. That's okay though. When color gets into that, we'll just dab it out. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead in with, we will do a number 4. I'm going to go in with this phthalo blue mixture and phthalo green mixture without the black. Okay. And go ahead and turn my canvas. Go right into that. And we want our horizon line to be as straight as possible. There we go. And there we go. Drop that color right on in. Now I'm going to take that off my brush and I'm going to go in with a darker that has the black in with it. It changes the color of it. The black changes the color of the teal that we made. That's why I put it in there. Okay, now we're going to drop in a darker value in there of that, or a darker pink color. Okay, now wiped off my brush. We will go over this again here in just a little while. Now we'll go in with that phthalo blue, phthalo green mixture. And I'm going to go ahead and directly in right here. You want your horizon line as straight as possible. Okay. We got that into the wave just a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and dab that up. If it don't fully come up, it's okay. We're going to be putting it in there anyway. Go along the edge of the this right here. Now we'll go in with the darker color, that teal. I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in. We'll darken this up later on. This is just the base layer of color here. Okay, now I'm going to pinch off my brush. There we go. Now we will go into this little wave right here. I'm going to go into, let's see, the medium value, or the darker of the phthalo green. Let's see, it's kind of crashing this way, so we want to go with how the wave is going. So kind of I should have pulled that up already, but that's okay. We're going to keep some of that white because there's a little bit of sea foam going down right here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and blot this up just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go in with a lighter value of this, which is this with just water added to it. Let's add a little more water. So I'm going to go right in between, right there. I'll go ahead and pull some of that up and go over this, pull some of that up. There we go. Take the lighter value, go along this edge right here. Okay. Go. Now I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm going to go ahead and get my paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the, gosh, what is this? I forget the name of that. I'm having a hard time remembering that. Masking fluid. I'm going to go ahead and pull up this masking fluid along this top here, all the way to about right there. We'll go ahead and leave that bit right there. There we go. There we are. We're going to leave this masking fluid down here, and I'm not sure why I put it here, but I'm going to take it off. I don't need it there. So we want the water to blend into the sand. We don't want to keep it separate. Let's go ahead and pull that off. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the wave part. I'm going to go ahead and get my large oval brush wet. We'll go in and add water right along the bottom of this wave. There we go. Get it a little more wet. Let's go ahead and get it all the way up to that masking fluid line. There we go. Now I'm going to take my number 4 pointed oval wash. I'm going to go into this very light color of the teal, which is this mixture, just watered down more. The lightest part of my wave is going to be right in here. Make sure you do C's, large C's. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to go into this darker color. And we have that coming all the way through, small little C's. Add some water to that. Go ahead and pull it along this edge, like a really big C. All right. Now we'll go into this little bit darker value of the teal. And there we go. Take that medium, come up about right there. Now we'll take a little bit of that darker. Just build in layers here. We'll go over this again if we need to. Okay. So I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to go along this. I'm just going to kind of soak up a little bit of that right to that line. It's okay if it bleeds out into it because we're going over it with brown, and that's the wet color of the sand. Okay, so now we're going to go into this lighter color again. Okay, now we'll go into, let's see, not quite as dark, a little less. I'm going right here. Okay, we'll go a little darker than that. There we go. Kind of pull a couple little streaks through that lighter color right there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead in with our paper towel. We'll kind of soak a little bit of that up. There we go. This color, let's see. This kind of comes in like that. Dab that in. Just dab that in. There we go. I'm going to go in with my greenish color mixture that we made. This is where the sand is being pulled into the wave. There we go. Pull it on up. Now I'll go ahead and pull it kind of like that. Okay. Let's see, we're going to go up just a little bit with it. Just do a little flicks in a C. There we go. Now we'll go in with this darker. I'm going to turn my canvas. Go right along that line. Kind of blends in right here. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and grab, whoop, splash it a little much. Go ahead with this lighter value of this teal. all the way to right about here. Now we're going to go in with a little bit more of that green. We're going to drop in a little bit of that. And there we go. Now I'll go ahead and grab this darker value again, or the darker color again. Go ahead and drop that right along the edge right there. I'll go ahead and drop a little bit in through here. Grab a little bit more water. Okay. Now I pulled the color off my brush. Grab a little bit more of that green. Okay, now we're going to let this be. I'm going to go ahead and dry this real quick. There we go. I'll get it dried. Okay, now that that's dry, I'm going to go in with my number 4 again into this darker value, or the darker color of the teal. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put in some water. And then we'll go ahead and flick that up. Kind of go in a C, just flicking it up. And we'll go like this. Okay. And I'll go right in here. It's a little darker. Okay. Now I'm going to rinse off my brush. And I'm going to pull this down, this edge down with some water. I'm going to go with my darker mixture. Get it a little darker. There we go. Kind of just leave some of that green color behind. Now we'll take this right here and we're going to go ahead and flick it up. And there we go. And I'm going to let that be. Now go in with this medium value, or the medium, or the darker teal color. And I'll go into where this medium is right here. I'll kind of just flick up a few little pieces. And go over that lightest color right there. And go ahead and get a little bit more. Go ahead and put it right in there. Oh. And there we go. Now go in with this darker color here. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, put a little bit right in there. Okay. Now I'll take my paintbrush with just a damp brush with the water on it. Let's see, that goes all the way up into it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this green. I'll go a little darker. So less water within the mixture. Okay, now I'm going to kind of, let's see, yeah, pull a little bit of that. There we go. And then I'll come across this bottom here. And this is pulled, let's see, yep, about kind of like this, going this way. Kind of like at a downward motion. There we go. Kind of pull that. I'll go ahead and pull some of this down this way. We'll be putting white in there, so if there's a little bit of a line like that, it's okay. Now I'm just going to take a wet brush. I'm going to kind of pick up a little bit of that and blend it just a little better right up into the wave. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and start on the beach right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, actually, let's see. I'm going to grab a lighter, kind of like a medium value. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that in, grab it down. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Grab the lighter value right here. Go ahead and put that there. Okay, now we'll go in with a little bit of a lighter value. Grab just water. Go with this medium. Drop a little bit of that in. There we go. Now we will take, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this. Okay, so now I'm going to take my medium-sized, let's see, number 4 pointed oval. I'm going with this green color, a light wash of that. Turn this. I'm going to go ahead in and make my beach line here. All the way into this. Kind of let it disappear into that. Okay. I'm going to take my paper towel. I'm going to dab a little bit of that up. There we go. And we'll go over this one more time. Let's see. Let me go ahead in with my number 2 oval wash. I'm going to go ahead and get a dark value of this brown sand mixture. And I'm going to just tap it in along this edge right here. And we'll go. There we go. I'm going with a darker mixture here. Let's see. I think I'm going to leave that like that for now. With it brown. I'll go in with this muddy green. Okay. And this kind of go ahead and just put some ripples in this. And there we go. Got a few little ripples here. And then it comes out kind of like this. There we go. Just put some ripples in there. Let's see. That's good right there. And this kind of comes this way. Let's see, that goes like that. We'll kind of bring this a little darker. Grab a little bit darker of that value. And there we go. Now go ahead and work on this section up here. I'm going to go ahead and take off the masking fluid. There we go. Now we will go ahead and, let's see, start putting in some shadows for our splash. We'll put in the veins to the wave after that. So I'm going to take some of this pink color here. Actually, first I'll wet it. Got a little bit of pink on my brush, but that's okay, because that pink color is within the wave. Let's go ahead and get it wet all the way down here. Go ahead and pull some of this color. There we go. All right. There we go. Now go ahead and get some of this pink color. Oh my goodness, my dogs. Okay. Okay, so get that pink color. We'll just kind of dab it through here. Very light value of it, and kind of tap it up. Okay, let's go ahead and put some here. We're just putting very light value of pink and then tapping it out. So only a little bit is left behind. Okay, now we'll tap that up. Now we'll get this purple color. Kind of dab that in a few places. Oh, dripped it on my canvas or my paper. Grab a little bit more of that purple. Make it a little darker. And just drop some in. Okay. Oh, well, that's all right. There we go. Now we're going to go in with the sky blue color. Kind of tap that in a few little places. And this one's a little darker. Just kind of put it in a few places. There we go. Now we'll do the wave color. We're going to go in with a lighter value. I'm going to go ahead and really Put that green everywhere that we didn't put the other color. And just drop it in. Dab it up. Okay, so now let's see. I'm going to go and let that dry on its own while I work on this. I'm going with a darker value of that teal color that we made. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull this a little closer. Let's see. I'm just going to dab it in. Okay, I wiped off my brush. Now I'm going to pull that out. Dab that over. There we go. Grab that darker value again. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add a little bit more. Little waves. There we go. I'm going to do this side. Okay, I'm going to pull my brush clean. And there we go. My pups are barking extra today. Now we're going with this darker value, or the darker color. And there we go. Go ahead off the canvas of that, or the watercolor paper. Your water is going to be darker towards the horizon line. Okay. Grab a little bit of water, a little bit more paint. And we'll do the same thing over here. Let's add a little more water to that so it flows better. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go with just a wet brush. I'll blend out those lines. And get a little bit bigger brush. Go ahead and blend that line out. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start in this part of the wave. Let me dry this first. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the veins of this wave. I'll start with this teal that's mixed with the Chinese white. All that does is make it a little bit more opaque. Okay, so let's see. So I'm just going to pull in a few little bits. They can crisscross each other all the way up to the top here. And we'll do that within here as well. Okay. Now we'll go into this lighter bit. Kind of crisscross up here. Okay. And then this one kind of go like that. Now we'll go into this darker value of that. So it's that darker teal, this teal with Chinese white. And then this kind of have a little bit of darker veins through here. Let's see, it kind of comes just like that. And there we go. Kind of goes all the way up. I'm gonna go and push that back a little bit. Don't want to do too much. We can go over it if we need to. Now I'll go ahead and grab a little bit of this darker colored teal. I'm gonna go right up to here. And kind of goes up. Okay. Now we will go into, let's see, we'll use our number 2 pointed oval. I'll go ahead and grab this Bleedproof white. Let's see. I need to close this gap just a little bit first. Well, yeah, let me go and close that. It's a little too thick. So I'll go in with the lightest value. Kind of just dab it right here on the edge. Just kind of tap it in. There we go. I'll go ahead and let that dry while I work on this. Okay. So this kind of comes out like this, and we're just going to tap in some of the seafoam. Kind of goes out that way. It comes down like that. And then we have some that comes like this. Just tap that in. Okay. Got some in here. It goes all the way into here. And there we go. Then we have some that comes down and then it comes back up. Kind of like a let's kind of tap it in into odd little shapes. Okay, and that comes around like that. That comes all the way up into here. Just kind of use the tip of your brush to and we have a little bit down here. And kind of comes like this. And then it goes like that. And then we have a little bit more within here. And this goes up like that, and that goes up like that. Okay, let's see, we can add more. Now that this is dry, I'll go ahead and add little bits through here. Actually, I'm going to put my painting upside down. It's easier to see and determine. So just kind of tap that in. And that goes all the way. Just kind of irregularly tap it in. Kind of goes up right there. There we go. That's about right. Add a little bit of water to this. Okay. Now we have a little bit right in here. Just kind of tap it in. And just tap that in right along the edge there. And grab some more paint. Okay. Go ahead and tap it in throughout here. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit going this way. Add a little bit more in here. And there we go. Let's see. Now we will go along the top edge of this, of the wave. And go into the mixing white. We're not going to go into the top edge just yet. We need to put a little bit of wiggles right here. All the way down, and then there's one that comes kind of like that. And use your finger to kind of push that in. And rinse my brush. Kind of blend that out just a titch. And there we go. Okay, now we're going to go in with this darker value. And we're going to go on in. Let's go to the putting a shadow in right under this wave, or the sea foam. Pull that down. There we go. Take my little brush. Go in with the darker again. Kind of pull that down. And there we go. And now I'm going to go in with the wave right here. I'm going to get some more Bleedproof white on my palette. grab a little bit more water. And the reason I like bleed-proof white is because it dries matte on your paper. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and start adding some of this sea foam. Just kind of we'll do the bottom half of this first, and then we'll go in and do the top half. If we have to add more shadows in later, we can. Just tap that in. Okay, so now we'll go and I'm going to go ahead and go in here one more time. Okay, now I'm going to go along this top. Kind of just scumble that in. There we go. All right, now we'll go along this bottom again. And darken up that white. There we go. let's go over the top again, just a little bit. We'll let this dry and then we'll see what we need to do, if we need to put more darks or lights in there. Alright, so now, let's see, we're going to work on this. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my number 4 wash. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the darker paint and put it in with this water, make it a little darker. Alright, so just kind of bring that shadow. Now we'll rinse off our brush. This is dry down here, so it'll leave a harsh line if we don't blend it out with our brush. And there we go. Now we'll take this lighter teal, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull this kind of like that, right up onto the sand. And I'm going to go ahead and, with a wet brush, flick out that edge. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the mixing white, or not mixing white, the Bleedproof white. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put in our little sea foams. And go over that brown, but not all the way, because that's the shadow to the sea foam. Might have to do another layer over this. We'll bring some right in here. There we go. Get quite a bit of that on your brush. And we'll go ahead and tap in some little splashes from the sea foam. And then right here we won't, and here we will. And there we'll just make it flat. Gonna make it flat right here. Go ahead and splash some right here. There we go. Let's see, where else do we have it? We do have a little bit throughout here, just a tidge. Let's see, that one goes there. A little bit. I'll just put a little line right here of it. Kind of blend that with your finger out. There we go. And then we have it. We have that. We have just a little bit in here. I'll just add that in. Okay, let's see what we need. now I'm going to go in with my darker value of the teal. And then put in just a few little bits. And then in here we have a little bit of darker, just going right over that mixing white. Okay. Now grab that mixing white. I'm gonna go and tap in over it. Grab some mixing white. And go ahead and tap this in. Go ahead and tap that in. And tap it to the back. Push it into the paper. Grab a little bit more of that. There we go. Much better. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and go over this again. There we go. Okay, so I stepped back and I looked at my canvas. I'm going to go ahead and take my liner brush, go into my mixing white, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some squiggles down right in here. And that's going right into the paper, so I need it to be thicker. Let's see. Kind of pull down a few little squiggles. That may not show up on camera very much, but it's there. Values are very close over the screen, so I might just go ahead and grab my pointed, my smaller pointed, it's the oval wash. There we go. kind of goes in through here, and then it goes down. And that kind of comes this way. And there we go. We'll leave that there. And I'll go up in here just a little bit more. And that comes down like that. Okay. I think we're good. Oh, no, one more spot that I almost forgot. So under this, it's a lot darker. So I'm going to grab my darkest green. I'm going to go ahead right underneath here and drop in more shadow. Then it kind of comes down like this into that. Grab my just water. And grab a little more here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and dry that. I'm going to dry it and I'm going to take off the tape. Okay, so if you want to put splashes on yours, you can. I'll go ahead and go with my Deerfoot Stippler. Let's see if this is wet enough. You want a very fluid paint of the mixing white. Let me grab a little bit more mixing white here. Not mixing white, bleed-proof white. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of water, drop it right there. There we go. And then I just use my finger, and I'll just kind of throw a few little splashes. Do a few little more. That one just kind of flick it in the direction of the. There we go. And then we'll do some right in here. Just get a little more. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that like that. I'll go ahead and sign this. I really, really enjoyed painting this. And if you follow along, I would love to see your artwork. Our Facebook group is For the Love of Art, and you can post it there. If you have any questions, please reach out. And if you could, please comment, like, and subscribe to this video or to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and put my signature on here. I'm going to go with the teal, the darker teal. Make it good and fluid. And I'll just go right here. And then pull a P down. There we go. Go up to about there. Oh, well, see? That's why I like doing my signatures with a pen. And so I'm going to scumble that out a little bit. There we go. And I'll go in with my little heart. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.